Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Film Juice. This is a very different thing than we expected. Promise that we didn't mean to go on hiatus, but it had to happen. It wasn't even a hiatus. It was just a short couple weeks.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, sabbatical. We it just had to work out that way where we both just had to we both had to make it happen. But we're back and we're better than ever. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But first things first, I want to explain where I am. I just recently
was in
got
a terrible accident.
Oh,
and
no.
unfortunately the scarring done to Joe's face. Well, you see, the thing about acid is that it's doesn't really wash off. And unfortunately Joe had to find that out the hard way. So he's hopefully next episode, after some, if the surgeries work, we'll have him back. But
have you ever heard of Daredevil?
Yeah, but Daredevil,
I'm basically Daredevil.
No, I don't think that's right.
You don't know, man. You can't. You don't know what's happened since the accident.
I've only seen Joe since the accident. I've only seen Joe covered head to toe in bandages and wearing a bathrobe.
Am I Hush?
Yeah. And wearing sunglasses to hide his excuse me, but for lack of a better term, disformed figure.
No, you know what? I'm actually the Invisible Man. That's what I am.
Yeah,
I'm the Invisible Man.
That's what I was going for, but you said Hush.
And definitely not Hush.
Because Hush doesn't wear a bathrobe. Hush
is lame. Compared to the Invisible Man, Hush is lame. Dude, what was the line that he always said?
The Invisible Man?
Yeah, the line that we like.
I shall kill you at 10 o'clock. Or whatever.
At 10 o'clock, I shall kill you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Out the window.
Just leaves. Oh, that movie's amazing. God, one of my favorite throwbacks we've ever done. Anyhow, yes, I got a new computer, and I will be back on screen next week, but for now, the accident, we will have to hold off. But I do have a new computer from the money I got from the accident, so that
I like it. Way to tie it all in.
There's gonna be someone that thinks I'm serious, and I'm gonna like.
No, there's not.
There better not be.
There's not. I hate to bring it to you, but there's not. We all know that you got that same Punham face over there that we all love so much.
But in place of where my face should be, there's gonna be the video version of the episode for the Magic Camp episode that we did.
Yeah.
Spy Kids and Magic Camp that came out either last week or the week before that. The video just didn't work out for that one. Just kind of a mishap with my computer, my old computer. And thankfully, so the recording didn't work out for that, but the audio was fine. But thankfully, I got a new computer now, so it's gonna be smooth 60 FPS 1080p, baby. It's gonna be real nice. But if you listen to the episode, I was wearing the Sherlock Holmes get up that I didn't get to wear.
Oh my God. So that was that video?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Well, I'm gonna put up the picture from.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
From that episode, so you can see what I looked like. Honestly, I think it'd be hilarious to have my just singular webcam from that episode running mute throughout the entire thing, but I think it would confuse too many people. So I'm just gonna have the still picture. I'm sure it'll be flattering. um, of myself up there. And yeah, so that's what you'll be seeing right now. And then we got the good old logo right over here. And yeah, that's to bring you, that's the recap for this week's for this week's episode. Um, but we got, well, I know this is a different kind of intro than what we usually do, but we kind of just got to get into it. We got
Mm,
a lot to talk about. We missed a lot.
yeah.
But first, how have you been, Andrew? What what adventures have you been on during the break,
Adventures during our
during our
summer vacation
sabbatical?
sabbatical. Um, trying to stay sane. If that counts as an adventure,
I agree.
then that's the cruise ship that I've been riding for these past couple years. And so oh, you know me, Joe. I'm a
Yeah.
simple man. I'll just like to take it easy.
Hey,
Hop a train to Reno.
we like Reno.
Um, yeah. Uh, experiment with different drugs with
Ooh,
D-list celebrities such as
ooh, ooh.
the ghost of Danny Aiello and
I,
Regis Philbin's cousin,
I don't
Roland
even
Philbin.
I don't even know. Oh, or what? Or Adam Sandler, the the producer of The Price is Right, not the actor.
Right, right. Well, we got that CBS connection. So he and I have actually grown quite close.
Dude, I when I found out I remember I was watching The Price is Right with my grandparents, as you do, and
Hmm.
th- and I saw Adam Sandler in the credits. I was like, why is Adam Sandler in the credits? And I looked it up, and that is actually a very misconception that Adam Sandler produces The Price is Right.
He loves
And
it.
dude, I feel bad for that Adam Sandler though, because no one thinks it's him. He's an unsung hero.
I feel like he's probably okay with it.
That's true. But Adam Sandler's just getting all his glory for the price. I don't know. Anyway,
That's pretty funny.
we so um what was I gonna say? So yeah, but dude, so much has happened since the last episode. It's crazy. I there was something I wanted there was something I wanted to bring up before we got into movie news. And I'm not gonna lie, at the moment, it is escaping me. But I will say, before we get into movie news, I will say, uh, we are now that everything seems to have, I think, calmed down a little bit more. Well, maybe that's the wrong phrase, but I think we both uh, are in a good spot right now where we can continue doing film juice again and we're planning on doing it regularly. We had that little vacay, but now we're back and we're ready to fucking do it. And I'm excited for this week's episode. I think it's gonna be oh, I'm so excited. We got a lot to get through. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing weekly again. We'll have the videos up. I also we're gonna I think we announced this last episode, but I'll say this again. We're gonna try and do either um a watch party this month, end of this month, beginning of next month. We'll see. That's our plans. I think we didn't anticipate how um busy we would be in the coming months. That is like an getting a time slot for that is a little bit more tricky than we anticipated. But um, I'm very excited to do those. I think Andrew is as well as he is there sitting.
Oh,
um, what?
nothing. I was nothing. I didn't say anything. That was a general
Oh,
moan and groan of
um, the last time
pain.
we saw you, Andrew, you did not have all of those awesome things in the background.
Yeah.
You wanna give us like a little tour, like of the setup a
Well,
little bit?
I wish I could. It's not totally done. Like as you
Hmm.
can see, there's nothing on this wall or anything. Um, I've got some more stuff over there, but I'll just show you what I'll just go through what's in my little area, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, the reason is anybody who listens to Two in the Cooler knows that nobody like painted our walls. Like our walls need to be painted. And if you go back and watch
yeah,
videos of this podcast, you'll see there's like splotches and stuff
yeah.
behind me. So let's see. This is my bookshelf that's been here. Those are some very good books. Like to promote
Yes.
Colin Jost's book, A Very Punchable Face. One of the only things I basically read um, Dune and comedy memoirs, and his is like really funny. So shout
Oh,
out to
that's
that.
awesome.
I've
And Harry
got the
Potter.
Lawrence of Arabia poster
Hell yeah. Oh,
from the
it
Film
made its
Juice TV
return.
show. Yep, had to do it.
So good.
Right here is the Ready
Hmm.
Player One poster that Joe gave to me. It's a very famous
Yes.
poster because you can't really see. I'm not gonna put the cam down, but so it's the guy is on a ladder and his leg is like insanely long, like not right.
Yes.
So there's like this error in that poster. That
Great.
is a tin poster for Jodorowsky's Dune, which is
Hmm.
a documentary about the first guy who was going to attempt to make a Dune movie. This before the David Lynch one, like right before. Like they said, like no to this, and they did their own thing with David Lynch. It's a great documentary, and that movie would have been fucking amazing. But just
Hmm.
watch it. Just watch the documentary because it's really good,
Yeah.
especially if you are interested in seeing people that are like really passionate about what they do. So
Hmm.
that, as you can see, a bunch of comics here. That is Flash Volume 3, #1. That's the first appearance of Wally West as the full Flash after the events of
Oh.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Um, yeah, real nerdy stuff. But I love that
That's
comic, and I
crazy.
love the Volume 3 of the Flash. I mean, I'm in the minority, but that's my favorite one. Wally West is just my Flash. That is
Oh, really?
Venom, the enemy within uh, first issue special edition glow in the dark cover, which is sick. My uncle
Sick.
Mike gave that to me. And
That's
then
sick.
here, this is not that. This is
Yeah.
Justice Society of America, Volume 3, #1. This is in 2007, is when they rebooted that particular book. And it's amazing. I think it ran for 56 issues. I don't have them all, but that's like #1 on my list is to get all of them. And that's
Oh,
incredible.
that would be sick.
Amazing Spider Man
Oh, we
250,
love it.
which is that's just a sick cover um, with the
I
hobgoblin
can't
there.
oh, it's Hobgoblin?
Yeah,
That's
that's why
awesome.
I was hoping you could see it. But so
That's sweet.
there where that glare is, that is Flash. What I don't even remember what number it is. Yeah, so Flash second series, which is the Barry Allen one, the most
Mhm.
famous one, number 139, first appearance of the Reverse Flash, best Flash villain. And then you can't see it at all because of the
Yes.
glare, but that is this really cool issue. Let's see if I can finagle this. Yeah, you can't really see it, but it's a issue of What If, the Marvel comic What If, second volume, issue 11, which is it's just a great it's not like a special copy or whatever, but it's just a great story. It's
Yeah.
what if the Fantastic Four all had the same powers. So in like one section they all have the Human Torch
Oh.
powers, and and all that stuff, and that's really
That's
good.
cool.
Oh, and then this is, I feel like I've said this before, but my favorite scene in any Star Wars movie is the
Hmm.
scene where they, bring Luke and everybody out to the Sarlacc pit at
It's a
the top
fucking cool
of,
scene.
at the top of Return of the Jedi. So
Hmm.
that's what this is. There's Jabba's sail barge behind there, and then the sand skiff and the Sarlacc here. It's all Lego, and
It's awesome.
yeah, it's
It's
fucking
sick,
amazing. I love it.
dude. Lego. One day I'll be able to show everyone my Lego uh collection. Dude, Legos are timeless and they're great, and I think they're really cool, especially when you can like, especially the Star Wars and like the movie ones, like the Harry Potter and the Star
Yeah,
Wars, and they're sick. Um, that's awesome, dude. Dude, your setup's sick. I can't wait. Like, I now that I got this setup done, which I'm gonna hopefully maybe I'll put up a couple pictures of what the setup my new computer setup looks like. Um, but now that I got this, hopefully once I get a new place, I'll be able to have like a super cool like setup like that. Like
I
that's
can't
fucking
wait to
awesome,
see
dude.
what you would do with that because I feel like you'll
Oh,
go pretty all out.
I mean, dude, it's yours looks fucking great. I can't believe you're a Wally West. I thought you were Barry Allen. I didn't know that.
No, I mean I like Barry Allen, and I'm glad that. So I could talk about this for a really long time. I know we've got a lot to get into. Um,
Yeah.
I Yeah, I'm all for Barry Allen, and I like honestly, the the early Wally West stuff is pretty rough, and even some of the middle Wally West stuff is pretty rough. Like the very early, there's some really good stuff, but then it kind of gets a little. There's some weird stuff that
Hmm.
goes on, some growing pains, I guess. But like I have that, which is the first issue, and I also have issue 247, which is the last one right before Flash Rebirth,
Ooh.
not the rebirth that they did across the whole DC universe, but the Flash Rebirth series written by Jeff Johns. um, when Barry Allen came back to life.
Oh,
um, yeah, it's amazing, like that,
that's
man.
sweet.
Those books are so good. But yeah,
That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think it definitely was important to open the episode up with where we're at right now, what we're doing, and just change it up. We'll have a silly intro for next week's for sure. I'm sure. But yeah, I guess guess we'll get right into it. I'm gonna just say it one more time. Welcome to Film Juice, the show where we talk about movies, TV, entertainment, and all the like. I'm your host, Joe Dorado.
and I'm Andrew Bartholomew Canada, and welcome to the
And
show.
yeah,
I
welcome to
thought
the
Joe was
show.
going to jump back in right after I said my name, but he's never heard my middle name before, so it must have been shocking.
um, we got so much to fucking talk about
Yeah,
today.
we got a
We're
lot
getting
to.
right into it now. Um, let's start from let's go in chronological order. So DC fandom. There's a lot to talk about there. We're gonna try. We have so much things to talk about that we cannot possibly go into all of it, but we're gonna talk about the big stuff. The biggest thing for me, and I think for everyone else, was the Batman trailer.
Mhm.
That trailer is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Seeing Robert Pattinson as the Batman was everything I wanted it to be. And seeing um the how they're gonna do the Riddler too. We didn't get to see what he looks like, but his
Well, no,
voice.
they showed him.
Oh, they did.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. He
Yeah.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. I dude, I think it's gonna be so I think it's gonna be so fucking good. I think it could possibly be like, I know we shouldn't like compare these, but it's kind of hard not to. I think it could like be like, for me, I could see it being like my preferred and favorite over like the Christopher Nolan
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the big differences, this one seems to be, it's going to be a little more comic book
Gritty.
esque
Yeah, comic.
than,
Yes, yes, yes.
because the Nolan ones are kind, I mean, obviously it's Batman, whatever, but they are kind of set in a, a pretty like realistic world.
Hmm.
Um, so this one I think is going to be a lot more comic booky, and I think that that's going to boost it up. It's going to make it more unique as far as Batman goes, because it's going to be more than just an action movie. Uh,
Yeah.
the so, I mean, just talking about the Riddler there. I Holy shit, man! The way that they're doing the Riddler is absolutely perfect. As
Yep.
far as he seems, the thing we get a sort of these this glimpse of like the card that he gives to Batman, and we hear a lot of the Riddler talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But particularly in that card, you can see that there's obviously some type of code written down that Batman is probably going to have to decipher, and that tells me that we're dealing with a Riddler who is smart and,
Hmm.
deserves the title of Riddler, right? Like
Yeah.
he's not, it's not just like the 66 movie where it's like what's small and dangerous and in a tree or whatever, a sparrow with a machine gun, whatever that joke is. Um,
Yeah.
this is, and but the only thing is I hope that they change the look of him at some point in the movie. I know that it's, you know, different and it's gritty or whatever, but I just want a little,
Mhm.
just like slightly comic realistic.
Yes,
At least the
I agree.
color, maybe not even the colors, but just like some type of green. I don't like the full
Or if
face
he has the
mask. That's
cane.
Scarecrow's thing, right? So I don't know. Oh my god, if he has the
Yeah.
cane, shut the fuck up. But
Oh, I
um,
want him to have the cane.
but yeah, I hope that they
If he has
do,
the cane, shut the fuck
because
up.
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I like it. There's this sort of um anarchist, fellow with a manifesto vibe that
Mhm.
this Riddler has,
Yes.
which is cool. That's a great take on the character. But uh
I'm
I
yeah.
would like some.
I'm
I just, just as a fan, it would be cool to see something a little more comic realistic
yeah.
as far as this look would go. But that's great. The other
Yeah.
villains we saw, Colin uh, Farrell as the Penguin.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him at first,
No, dude.
which is a good
He's
thing.
yeah. Oh, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I I'm very excited to see that. I'm very curious how it's all going to fit in. I'm assuming that Matt Reeves is going for more than just this Batman movie. Um I have a feeling he is also maybe trying to set up more with future movies with Robert Pattinson as Batman and with the universe that he's creating with the character. So I'm curious whether I think Penguin's going to actually be like, a villain in the movie, but I also think it might be kind of like a Kingpin-esque thing where he might just be behind the scenes for a lot of it, and
Mhm.
then he might show up in the second movie, or we don't know, obviously. But I think the
Mhm.
Riddler's going to be like the main antagonist in this, and the
Yeah.
Penguin's going to be there, like he's going to be around being a dick.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I can see that
they're going to
happening.
we'll see. I wouldn't. We'll see. I'm curious how. And maybe the Penguin and the Riddler will work together or something. We don't know, but it's going to be interesting. I agree with you completely about the Riddler's costume. I think my theory is that that's the first time. That's one of the first times we actually see him, and
Mm.
he's going to change his costume like pretty soon after that, I think. Or like I don't think he's gonna have that over his head the whole I really doubt it. I think maybe that was just like the first like time. I don't know. I would like to think that that's not what his whole getup is gonna be because
Hmm.
and like so you know how I remember I was worried about when Marvel announced they were gonna put Mysterio in the Spider-Man movie because I fucking love Mysterio. Mysterio's like such a cool and like interesting villain, but he's also like his his costume is silly, but it's like it's great. Like
Hmm.
it's authentic, it is unique, it is perfect for his character. And I was very worried they were going to try and just like gritty it up and be like something that it's not,
Right.
but they perfectly like they just it was basically exactly how Mysterio should be. Um and I am hoping I know like the first glimpse we got is a little not great for that for hoping for what he looks like in the comics. Um but I hope that it'll change throughout. I Because you can make the Riddler have a comic-esque costume and still be gritty.
Oh
They
yeah.
did it in all of the games. He's in every
Yep.
game and he looks like what the Riddler would look like in modern day. Like it's great. Um um but yeah, if he has the cane that'll be fucking awesome. Um I just want to really quick I do just want to say about him I think from this whole movie, I think a lot of people are too. I'm getting major Seven vibes. Um,
Yeah, I've heard that
uh,
comparison.
it seems very similar in. I don't know the way it's shot. Kind of reminds me of Seven. It's not even just like
I could see
it's
that in a
kind of the
few
feel of it.
moments of the trailer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I hope that, and I'm fine with this version of Batman being like a little bit more gritty or realistic. Like I'm okay with that. Like
Hmm.
I didn't mind anything I saw in the trailer other than maybe his costume, but I'm hoping they change that. But I do
The
hope
Riddler's
that
costume, you mean?
yes, but
Okay.
I do hope that they maybe take the I hope they don't take it like too seriously. I don't want it to be like Joker. I don't want this movie to be like Joker. And I don't think it's going to be, but I don't want it to be like I just don't want it to be I don't want the director to be maybe having it be taken too seriously because at the end of the day it's a comic book movie and I understand with Joker we saw that it can be more cuz honestly like Joker is less of a comic book movie and more of a character
Yeah,
study.
yeah.
Um and I would rather just not have a character study for our new introduction for to um Robert Pattinson's Batman and the Riddler. I don't know. I just want it to feel a little bit more comic booky. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
which it
Uh
looks like it definitely is going to.
yes. The scene that everyone's talking about that's like the best scene in the entire trailer is when um easily when Batman just goes, "Who are you supposed to?" Or the thug goes, "Who are you supposed to be?" And then he just beats the absolute shit
Yeah.
out of out of the dude. He goes, "I'm vengeance." It's dude, it's perfect. That's all I needed to see. Like I from like his like action moments, you know? Like I don't want to get too spoiled on his like big like fight moments, but like that was a great introduction. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
agreed.
think that's
That was
cool.
pretty intense. I want to talk about two more things, but the first one I want to bring up
Yeah.
just a little bit is there's a third villain that we saw in this movie, and that's Catwoman, or who we saw in the
Oh
trailer.
yeah. Yep.
Um, what's
That's
interesting
true.
about what strikes me about the moments that we saw Catwoman is that her costume looks pretty bare bones, pretty simple, sure, but
Yeah.
also sort of makeshift, right? So
Hmm.
it feels to me, uh, and who knows if this will end up being true, but that we're sort of seeing a Catwoman sort of earlier in her career, which
Oh,
is
for
interesting
sure.
because it's so obvious that Batman is kind of already established. It's a little conflicting because there's that scene with the thug that's excellent, but he also walks right into that crime scene and talks to Commissioner Gordon. So it seems to me like Batman's already a pretty established figure in this city.
I yeah.
And typically,
I,
with any superhero movie that and any of their villains, they kind of are shown to be sort of coming up parallel, right?
mhm.
So I so hmm, so that's kind of interesting. So I guess we'll see what
I
happens there.
I heard that this is technically still early on in Batman's career.
Hmm.
It's not it's not early on and it's not early on enough where the GCPD is like after him, but or maybe they are and only Commissioner Gordon is like his friend, but cuz there is also that dynamic that happens too sometimes where he's like the commissioner gives him info but the GCPD as a whole doesn't really like him.
Hmm.
Um but but the thing is I heard from what I've heard from the like interviews and stuff is that this is an earlier version of this is a Batman early on in his career,
Right.
and I think they emphasize that well. I understand. I do agree with you. It is a little conflicting for sure, but I think they do a good job visually, at least, for the fact that Batman's costume I guess from the chest up looks good, and I'm not saying it doesn't look good all around, but he's wearing like he's wearing like just normal boots. Like they're like hiking boots. They're like his boots. I don't know if you noticed that, but his boots
Mm-mm.
aren't like fancy boots. They're like hiking boots. They're black hiking boots. I think that's very interesting. So
Really, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I think they I think they just they made a choice in his costume to show that he's not maybe it's not supposed to be taken that way, but the way I took it
No, I
is
mean if that's the truth, then I feel like there's only one way to take that. That's
he
interesting.
doesn't have all of this fancy stuff maybe yet. Even though but he has to have Lucius because he has the Batmobile. There's no way he doesn't have Lucius. So I don't know. We'll see. The Batmobile looks
I don't know.
fucking
There's some
awesome.
iffy stuff on that. That's more of a I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
you're
more
right.
of like
You're
a
right.
thing
You're
that
right.
became like really prominent with from the Nolan movies is his relationship with Lucius Fox. So
Oh, that wasn't it wasn't he wasn't that prominent in the comics like
I mean it's
with his
something, but
tech.
it's not like that's where he got the Batmobile, like in the comics, straight up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got you. Cool. Yeah, but that's yeah, and the Batmobile looks sick too. What was the other thing you wanted to mention really about the
Oh crud. Oh, I just wanted to talk a little more about the suit.
Yeah,
Because now we get our first like really good look at it. And it's cool. It is
yeah.
you know, it's so interesting to see all these Batman suits throughout the years. in film. And with this one, we finally kind of gotten to a suit that resembles the suit in the Arkham video games.
Yeah.
At least that's what
Oh,
it
it's
looks like to
sick.
me most
Yep.
closely.
I like that he has the eyeshadow or the black like makeup around the eyes. I
Yeah,
think that's awesome.
that's pretty intense when he takes off the cowl or when he's
Yeah.
shown without it. Uh,
Yeah.
that's
It's
pretty
it's
intense.
sick. Oh god. I can't wait. His suit looks great like you said. I love it. I know people didn't love his helmet. Some people didn't like how his like the ears, I guess, on his helmet are, but I think they look great.
Mhm.
I think they look a little shorter than like other
Yeah, but I don't
versions
mind
of
that. I
Batman
mean,
we've seen.
they're kind of
Yeah,
like I don't know. They're kind of short and like they're not short in the way that because the Batfleck suit like that had short ears, but they were kind of wide and very
yeah,
very small. These ones, I don't know. I like
yeah.
these ones a lot.
I do too. I like his suit a lot. It it's interesting. I obviously like it's weird that I've only seen the trailer for this movie and I already like see Robert Pattinson more as Batman than Ben Affleck. Like
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't.
Ben Affleck just wasn't my guy for
I guess so. I thought he was. I thought Ben Affleck was sick as Batman in
he I
Batman v
just
Superman.
yeah, I think he was fine. I just think it didn't feel like Batman to me.
Interesting.
But this gives me that all the way. I'm like, other than that one fight scene in that movie with when he's the warehouse scene, which is like
Yeah,
the best scene in that whole movie. Um, but yeah, this looks awesome. I think it's gonna be great. I'm curious if the Joker's gonna be in it because, or if he's gonna like be mentioned in the universe because those were his henchmen. There's no way that wasn't Joker's
sure.
hench. Maybe they could have
Yeah,
been Penguin's henchmen, but
maybe, but they looked like they looked like they were
they
wearing clown
looked
makeup.
yeah. So we'll see. I guess what goes on with
Yeah,
that. That's gonna
anything could
be
happen there.
yeah. We'll see. I don't think he'll be in the movie. If anything, he'll make a small cameo at the end. That's what's gonna.
Mhm.
That's gonna be that. And we won't know who's casted as him until the end. Just like Woody Harrelson in Venom, it'll be the same thing.
Oh yeah,
It'll be the same thing. Um, and yeah, that's basically all I think we covered the Batman trailer from
yeah.
DC fandom. I guess before we move on from the Batman and go on to more DC fandom, we will just say the Batman got back to production um recently, but after like 3 days they had to shut down production because none other than Robert Pattinson got tested positive for COVID. Um so I'm sure that movie is going to get a delay. I don't know if it even had a date. I know. Wait, I think it's next year, like
Yeah, just
October of
next
next
year.
year. So, I mean, maybe they'll still be able to get it out by then, but it might be delayed like a little bit because I don't know how long they have to stay off set now. At least 2 weeks, probably.
Mhm.
So, we'll see how that goes. But that's crazy. I that is crazy that that happened. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. What else, Andrew? What else happened at DC Fandom?
Oh man. The big thing that I was excited for, and I know
Mm-hmm.
you have a bunch of thoughts on, is they also put
Mm-hmm.
out a trailer for the Snyder Cut that's going to be available on HBO Max. A Snyder Cut of Justice League that everybody like a lot of people wanted. A lot of people thought it didn't even exist. All this crazy
Yep.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically built up a cult following before it's ever been seen and all this
Yep.
stuff. And then I remember like a year ago, maybe even more, Jason Momoa was like came out and he was like, "There's a Snyder cut. I've seen it. It's awesome."
Yep.
Um, and now for whatever reason they're gonna make it available on HBO Max. So the trailer came out. Um, different, geez, I mean, a lot of changes to the original movie. And we're also gonna see a lot more apparently. Uh,
Yep.
I know Joe, you had a big problem with the music in the trailer. I thought it was a weird choice, but I didn't
Hmm.
mind it.
It started growing on me. I will
Yeah.
admit. Um, first, after first watch, I was like, this sounds awful. But after after watching it a few more times, I think it started growing on me. Um, I think it's interesting. I've never, but I will be honest. Some of the music choices he's had in, I guess maybe he didn't even choose the music for the last Justice League trailer, but like the one years ago. But I also remember hearing music from from his like the other Justice League movie, and I was like, oh, it was like a rock version of Come Together, and I was
Oh,
like, this
Suicide
song
Squad. No, that
sucks.
wasn't the Suicide Squad one.
No, it was
That
Justice
was a
League.
different
It
one.
was at
Yep.
the end of Justice League. It played during the credits. I was like, this song sucks. Like, I think I'm just not maybe a fan of
At
some
the
of
end
his.
of Justice League?
Yeah, they play it at the end of. They play it over the credits, and I think they even
Well,
played
that
it
doesn't well, if they
maybe.
played at the end of Justice League, that doesn't count
Well, I'm just no,
because
but
that's
I'm just
not
saying.
the cut.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you're right. You're right. I'm just saying. I think that you're right. If he didn't choose that song, which he probably didn't, then then that's not him. But if he did, I may just not be a fan of some of his music choices. But this is a lot better than that, I will say. Um yeah, this is the only thing about this trailer I didn't really care for was the music. I kind of grow it's kind of grown on me a bit. It's not that bad now that I've listened to it a few more times. Um but yeah, this trailer's nuts. We get to see a lot more, and I think it's pretty cool. We get to basically every scene in it is like a new or like extended scene, which is cool. I don't think I think it's very good that he's just showing. I don't want him to show like everything that's new, which I don't think he's doing. If it's as different as everyone says it is, then I think it's going to be interesting watching this. It kind of makes me want to watch the Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut
Yeah. Have
because
you seen that?
I never
Oh,
saw the Ultimate Cut. I heard it makes the movie a lot better.
yeah. It makes
I
it
heard
quite
it,
a bit better.
yeah,
You know, you
which
can't fix Doomsday, but
I know. I
the
heard it
ultimate cut
makes
makes it
Lois's.
does make a
Yeah,
big
I heard it.
difference.
I heard it makes Lois's story better. It like fills in a lot of gaps. It just if I always hate the excuse of oh you need to see oh but this I don't know like
No,
but this
obviously
version's
that
the
shouldn't happen,
yeah with the
but
Snyder cut it's definitely different
yeah.
uh because he didn't have control over that it's not
Mhm.
but with Batman v Superman I remember a main reason I didn't watch the ultimate cut at first and I will watch it before I watch the Snyder cut because I want to see if I like it more but I disliked Batman v Superman so much at the time that I was like, I'm not like, I don't care. Like, I'm not giving it another chance. Um, but I definitely have changed since then, and will definitely give it another shot once the Snyder cut comes closer to its date. But yeah, what was your big takeaways from this trailer?
I just like that we get to see all of the stuff that Zack Snyder wanted us to see, or it looks like that's what's going to happen. Um,
Yeah, Yeah, it's
It's
crazy. I
gonna.
mean,
I mean, it's gonna make the characters and the story more well-rounded. I
yeah,
really like how they changed the coloring for a lot of the
yeah,
scenes.
they
Um,
did.
I think it makes it. I mean, obviously that makes a huge difference, and I like what they showed in the trailer better. I think it makes a lot more sense across the board. And I
Yeah,
wonder, and I feel like hopefully um, this will be true, but I feel like it's we're gonna see it and be like, why would they like what the hell were they thinking putting out the other one? I mean, I'm sure
I know.
we can guess what they were thinking, but like,
Hmm.
you know, I
I
um
remember.
I think it's gonna be cool. And
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I mean, once this comes out, who knows what's gonna happen next? Maybe still
I
nothing,
know.
something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll see. I mean, I remember watching the original in theaters with you, and I think it was actually your second time watching it, or maybe it was your first. I can't remember if you saw it like already and you just came to watch it again, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember like it was. I think we gave it like both pretty similar scores. I think you gave it maybe a little higher than me, but I think I
Yeah,
gave it like a
I'm sure I
6.
did.
I think I gave it like a 6 and you gave it like a maybe like in the sevens or something.
Yeah.
But I think like I don't know, I think it has potential like to be really good and I'm very excited. I think it's going to be sick. I love Superman in the black suit. I think it looks awesome. So, I hope he wears that like throughout the whole thing. That'd be awesome. We'll see though. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how maybe they like digitally like just could change the coloring on it, and that's
Sure.
how they like made it the right. Yeah, but anyhow, yeah, we get to see more. Well, what? Oh, man, why am I misremembering his name now? Dark Side. We get to see more Dark
Mhm.
Side. Just sick. I know Steppenwolf is still going to be the main baddie, but which I don't really care for Steppenwolf, but that's okay. I think it won't be that much more of a big deal since there's the other elements that we'll be getting.
Right.
So
And
yeah, it's gonna be
hopefully,
sick.
I mean, I don't know what the hell happened, but hopefully this edit has some like, alternate lines and stuff like that, or at least it's cut in a way that it makes
True.
more sense because some of the script for that movie, the way they showed it was
Yeah.
not good.
Oh, it was really bad. Some of the script in that movie was not good at all. I think they will. They will fix it. I think they'll. Yeah, I think they definitely will fix it. I'm very interested to see how it goes. I'm excited to watch the Superman fight scene again though, and see if that changed at all because that was a good scene.
Yeah,
The
that was a
first,
good
the
scene.
first. What? I'll say. That yeah, the one part when Barry is running and uh Superman like follows him. That's like one of the most
Yeah.
that's like the scene
Yeah.
that I always think of when I think of that movie. Like it's
Absolutely.
awesome.
That's a great moment.
It's so good. But it's fucking scary too. It's like Jesus.
I know. It was pretty
But
crazy. And you know
but
what?
what?
I don't know. Ezra Miller's take doesn't feel like the Barry Allen that I know,
Mhm.
but that guy's a good actor.
Yeah.
And part of this, something that just adds more to that scene is his reaction to seeing Superman look at him. Like, I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's a great take.
Yeah. Do you think he would fit better as if like if they literally just gave him a different Flash name, like one of the other Flash names, do you think he would fit better as one of those characters? Or do you think it's just like it wouldn't
Yeah.
matter? It's
Yeah,
just
I
he's
think he
Barry
would be
Allen.
better as Wally West than Barry Allen.
Okay, I got you. I was just curious. That's interesting. That's cool. Um, yeah. So that's the Justice League stuff from DC Fandom. If I'm being honest, it was a few weeks ago. So Is there anything else that we're missing from DC fandom that like was kind
Um,
of huge?
there was like a look into the new Suicide Squad movie. Um,
Yes, yes.
and I
That
have
was pretty
absolutely
cool.
no idea like what to make of that movie.
Yeah. I think I think it's going to be better than the original. And this is coming from someone who when the original came out, I loved it and then I like low key refuse to rewatch it because I know when I rewatch it I'm going to like hate it. Like you know when you watch them I don't know not hate it but I know it's not going to be as good as when I watched it in theaters. I think when I watched it in
Yeah.
theaters I definitely had rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, for
um
sure.
so when I rewatch it I know it's going to be a lot worse. Like I just know it. I know it's one of those movies and I can admit that. um but I think this movie is going to be better. um Doesn't mean I didn't like a lot of moments in Suicide Squad, but I can understand that it's not a great movie. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it's cool. It kind of reminds. It's giving me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes because it's directed by him, and it like not like it's not Guardians of the Galaxy, but like I'm getting that same kind of fun action vibe from it.
Right.
So we'll see. I think it's a very interesting take for sure. No matter what. Um, I think it'll be. I think it's just. Is it just like a straight reboot? Like it's not a sequel, right? Like they just like went up and said, you know what, we're just gonna try again after 3 years. Like it hasn't even been that long,
I
and
have
they're
no
already like, we're
idea.
just gonna reboot it. DC is such
I
a
feel like
mess,
it's
man.
I mean, it might even be like a set in a different Earth.
Yeah, dude,
So I have no idea.
the DC universe is like
Like I said,
crazy.
I have no clue what to make of this movie,
Yeah, we'll
but I'm
see, man. It's coming
interested
out.
to see it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Let's talk about
yeah,
the Marvel thing, and then let's get into the Dune trailer. Does that sound good?
yeah, completely. Yep. I think. Oh, and then
Okay.
we got to do Mandalorian.
Oh shit,
Um,
yeah. Let's do Mandalorian. Let's do Dune last.
yeah, we definitely got to do Dune last. I know we're on news a lot today, but
We got some
we're
stuff to catch up on. We
we
gotta
got some stuff to catch up on. Let's yeah, let's get so it, we it's kind of this happened. I think I don't want to get the date wrong on this. This happened. Let me just be absolutely sure. This happened August 28th. So about 3 weeks ago, this happened. Um, Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. We um, he was having, I guess, a few years battle with cancer, and it's really it's really it's really sad that it kind of just came out. It kind of came out of nowhere, I think, for everyone. Um, and it was way too soon for someone that's that talented, and way too soon in general. I think it's definitely it was definitely a heavy loss uh in the community and in the world for sure. Um, yeah, it's it was tough. It was tough hearing about that. Um, I really I he's been working. I guess he's been working on movies. The craziest thing from all of it. He's been working on movies while battling the cancer. Like he's like I can't even imagine how difficult that must have been. And the fact that I don't think anyone even picked up on it is a true testament to his strength and like how much of a positive force he was in the world. I think that's yeah, it's super sad. It really is. It's but yeah, it's yeah. It was very shocking. That's for sure. Um
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you yeah.
When it happened, you know, obviously doing a movie podcast like this, uh, every news outlet, not just related to movies, had something to say about it and report on it or whatever. And obviously, we haven't done a show since it happened,
Yeah.
um, so we couldn't say anything.
It
But we also
yeah.
didn't post anything on social media, um, which I kind of do our Instagram stuff. And I guess the reason we didn't is because, well, the reason that I didn't is because uh it just didn't seem like a real thing
Mhm.
when I heard the news. Um yep, it just didn't seem like it could be true, that he had
Yeah.
died, um in,
It's
not just in the roles that he played. But I will say, I mean, you look at all the roles that he played, and the guys that he played were all strong people, um, and he was able to convey that's the you could just feel the strength radiating off of him whenever he was on screen, and off screen. He seemed to be so, again, strong, just solid and stable. Um, and it was, yeah, it didn't feel real. This is the first time I've really sort of thought about it, and it still doesn't feel
yeah.
real, kind of.
It's it's pretty devastating. Um it, yeah,
But
yeah. I I think everyone is in agreement that it's just a terrible thing that uh it happened way too soon. And I you know eh, but I think that I don't know, I very much admire like how much he like I don't know. I think it's it after finding out about it and like hearing about it, it's like I very much admire his strength and how
oh yeah,
much
it's
he
unbelievable. I mean,
like
it's
it's insane.
impossible that anybody did what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. And cancer fucking sucks. So, yeah, it it's I guess it's this is our film juice is us saying farewell to Chadwick, and I know we're a little late to that, but yeah,
It's weird
it's not
when,
yeah.
you know, someone dies that you've never met, but has this sort of connection with so many people around the world,
Yeah.
who, never said a word to him. Um,
Yeah.
so
Crazy.
I just hope his family's doing okay because it's a tough
Yeah.
time and that's a heavy blow. So
Me too. Yeah. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever. That is, and that is what yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Um, yeah. So, sorry to bring it down there for a sec, but there was no way for us to like, there was really no way for us to kind of go over that, like, we just, had to be done, especially since we missed out on it a few weeks ago and didn't get to, you know, talk about it. And yeah. So, anyhow, um let's go on to the next bit of news. There's two more things, three more things actually. So Kane the Conqueror in the Marvel universe got casted. It is
well, I
it
think
is
that I don't know if it's official that that's who he's going to be yet, but everybody's saying that that's who
okay.
he's going to be.
Okay. So Jonathan
Majors.
Jonathan Majors was casted um by Marvel. We don't know. I guess yeah, it's not confirmed that it's Kane the Conqueror, but a lot of people think it's Kane the Conqueror, which would be the next
I keep
big.
hearing you. Are you saying? I keep hearing you saying Kane. It sounds like you're saying Kane.
I can't pronounce my G's very well. Like
Oh, okay. I'm
silent
sorry to call
G's.
you out like that. Then
No, it's okay. Silent G's just don't work out for me a lot.
it's not silent
But
though. That's sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, man. Kang, Kang, Kang.
King. I just feel
You
like
can
I
say it like that.
overemphasized it.
I don't know,
King.
but as long as everybody knows that it's with a G,
Yeah.
then I guess we're fine.
King. Not Kane
Kang,
from WWE.
yeah, Kang,
King.
Kang,
King
the
the
Conqueror.
Conqueror. Yeah. Uh
Who's a pretty tough villain in Marvel. Um,
yeah,
he's one of those
huge.
guys that can take on the Avengers.
He's another Thanos
He's
basically.
from the future and he's a time traveling villain. Um, so the thought is here, it looks like this guy is maybe going to be, the next big enemy, the in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe now that Thanos been dealt with.
It,
So in this next phase,
yeah.
things could be building up to him, to Kang, that is. So I
It's
don't know, it could
crazy
be
to me.
cool. Uh
Yeah, it could.
yeah, it's so strange that it's gonna be kind of starting over like this. Um
Yeah.
I wonder what
I
will
don't
happen.
think it's ever I don't think it's ever going to be the same. Like it's
I think
never
a lot of people are gonna say that, and it's gonna be it's gonna be very tough to please people with anything
oh
that
for
they do
sure.
next.
For
But
sure.
I feel like they're gonna do a good job, and it's gonna be difficult to determine, whether folks will dislike it because it's bad, which I don't think it will be, or because they just
Mhm.
want to be stinkers about it.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't and I'm not even speaking I don't think it's going to be bad. I just think it's not going to ever I don't think they're ever going to
Sure.
be able to recapture
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they
yeah.
did,
And I think that
and that's
there's
fine.
potential that they will be just because they did it the first time.
Yeah,
You know,
the, they're going to have to build it
out
up
of
for a
nowhere,
while.
and now you know, they could easily
Yeah.
do it again. They have a lot of great people working over there that
Hmm.
understand fans very well and the
I
comics very well. And I mean,
this is
obviously,
yeah
it's not like they think it's going to be easy or that they think they are going to be able to, recapture what happened with the whole Infinity Saga. Um, like they're very self-aware over at Marvel, and that's benefited them a lot. And it's gonna
yeah, that's true.
benefit them here. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
this.
think I
Hmm.
don't know. I just want to see it. And I don't know. I've never seen Jonathan Majors act before. You said he was on that
Yeah,
HBO.
love Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Um, no
I
idea.
don't think that I don't think that's out yet. It might have came out or come out already, but I haven't seen it. I've heard the style of it looks really cool, and I'm sure he's great on it. Um, I the only thing I want to say, I guess, about it is I think it's very strange that this news is coming out now because, and it kind of almost makes me doubt that he's going to be Zang the Conqueror.
Kang.
Kane, Jesus Christ. Sorry, Kane the Conqueror. And the reason why is because if they want any, if the only way they're gonna be able to, if they want to recapture the feeling, and even if they don't, if they just want to have the reception that they want, what they're gonna have to do is do another. I think they're gonna have to do a little bit another long haul, and it doesn't have to be as long, maybe, but there's no way that they can introduce this guy in this phase. I mean,
Right.
they can introduce them. They can introduce him, but there's
Okay, I
no
get it.
way.
Yeah.
There's no way
Well,
that he can fight in this phase,
sure.
like
That's a
as
good
the
point.
big baddie.
That's a very good point. And you know what? Maybe you won't. Maybe this is somehow some kind of lead up to what everyone wants to see, which is Galactus. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Kang Galactus is obviously connected to the Fantastic Four. Kang is also connected
Hmm.
to the Fantastic Four. There are
Hmm.
theories that he's a descendant of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and
Ooh.
that he is also possibly a descendant of Doctor Doom. I
Whoa.
think he's probably a descendant of both, but that's just me.
I have a
Uh,
feeling
so who knows?
that's crazy. This is my theory, and then I'll. This is all. This is the last I'll say about it because we still got a couple more things. Jeez. Um, I think Marvel is going to introduce the Fantastic Four. Then
Fucking hope so.
I think this phase is because, well, actually, I don't know if Fantastic Four is confirmed for this phase or not. They haven't confirmed that yet, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of speculation that they will be in this phase, even though this phase is obviously delayed. Um, I think I have a suspicion that they're ending this phase with Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom is going to be the
Yeah,
big baddie of this phase.
that would be
Not
pretty.
only that,
It could be good.
because not only is he a huge villain in this universe, he's not huge enough. He's not Thanos level though. He's not like
There are some
I
instances. I mean, he's pretty big, but it's hard to compare just about anyone to Thanos because Thanos represents a galactic threat, right?
same with Kane though. Is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they cannot put out another galactic threat this phase. They
Right.
cannot. They
Right.
can't do that. What they can do is they can lead up to him by the same way they did with Thanos, where they do the end credit scenes, they
Hmm.
do the like. I think that's what's going to happen,
Yeah, of course. I mean, that makes sense for sure.
and I think they might introduce the X-Men too before they do that.
That'd
Before
be
they do
cool. I think they
any,
should do that.
I think they before they do another huge Avengers movie, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to be in the universe. I think that's my
Interesting.
theory. I
That could
think
okay,
it's
maybe.
it's going to be a long ways away, but I think that's how they're going to have the excuse to bring them all back together.
I don't know.
Um, I
Could
think that'll be
do
sick.
could do a
We'll
Secret
see
Wars
though.
thing.
Ooh, a Secret
But
Wars
it's
thing
all
would be cool.
speculation. We have no idea.
Yeah, Secret Wars would be
Oh,
cool. I know people really want that. That'd be
yeah, I want
crazy.
to
It'd
see
be
that.
hard to pull that off. It'd be cool though. It'd be really cool. But
Yeah.
we will see. Um, well, I'm still interested to see this Doctor Strange movie, man. Like,
Oh my god, that
I don't
movie's gonna be
even.
crazy.
I know, like, it's gonna be, but we're a long ways away from that still. But that'll be crazy. Yeah, we'll have to see though. Okay, next thing up, and then we got one more thing. We got the Mandalorian trailer and release date. It's coming out October 30th. Um, we got this trailer for the Mandalorian. Um, I mean, there's not there's stuff to talk about, but for the most part, it's pretty vague, and I like that. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing that the trailer really shows is the briefest glimpse of Ahsoka, and um, also some cool fight scenes, and where we're kind of headed this season, which it seems we're headed in the direction where the Mandalorian is trying to find like Yoda's like kind and like
Mm.
trying to give him to
The
back to his
child.
kind. The child. Oh yeah, sorry, the child. Um, which yeah, it's oh man, I it looks awesome. I'm so excited. It's gonna be
Yeah,
so
it's gonna
sick.
be it's gonna be really good. It's I think that's a very cool idea as a season arc to try and get the child to some Jedi or something because there's I mean that's gonna take him all over the place, right? Uh,
Oh my god, and Ahsoka. I can't even wait to see how Ahsoka ties into it.
yeah,
Like,
I have no idea. So I agree with you that I like that the trailer is kind of vague there.
yeah,
Um,
it's I don't want to know too much for sure.
yeah,
And we know we didn't see him in the trailer, but we know he's coming back. We know Dark Saber, the guy with the dark saber. What was his name?
I can't remember.
Oh, I can't. But we know he's coming back, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be sick. Oh man, I can't wait to see him. We got some classic stormtrooper outfits. It looks like. Um, I don't know if that's a flashback or I have a feeling that's a flashback. Um, because we have full on stormtroopers like moving in. Uh,
Well, it seemed like in the last season they had a fair amount of them still
that's
around.
true. That's true. Yeah, it's interesting. I think this is maybe the start of the Empire like coming back, and that's
It's the start of like the First Order.
yeah, maybe. It's interesting because this is after I know I have to, I know I keep it's so hard to to figure out where it is, but I know it's just hard for my brain to understand where it is. But it is after uh um
It's after Return of the
the
Jedi.
it's after Return of the Jedi, and it is before it's obviously before Force Awakens. And it is
By like
its
quite a
relation
bit.
to Rebels. Yeah, and its relation to Rebels is kind of
Yeah,
weird.
that's tough to
Like
say.
that's what
But
I'm curious.
yeah, that's kind
I
of a gray area.
I still think Rebels is after
Well, because
this.
I've
I
never
still think
watched Rebels,
Rebels
but
is
isn't Rebels
Rebels is when the Jedi start to come back, and it's
But Rebels,
after.
Rebels isn't after Return of the Jedi,
Oh
because
yeah, you're right. Jesus
yeah, so
Christ.
it's yeah. Okay, I mean, I've
I
never
don't know
actually
why I.
watched that show, but thinking about it, I'm like,
Sorry
yeah,
about
that's not
that.
right.
Jesus, I'm losing my mind. I can't believe Ahsoka is still around. Then this is a long time for Ahsoka to be around. Holy
She's tough,
shit!
man. She's tough.
How did she not show up in? It just makes me think how she didn't even show up in any of the original trilogy if she's
It's
still alive.
complicated.
That's in.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
And there's no
that's
doubt
true.
that
She
she
did
was
have to go in
doing her own
hiding.
thing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm very excited though to see what they do. Because we've never seen Jedi in this point of time
Yeah.
ever. The like we've seen the earliest we've seen is Force Awakens in this kind of area. So like Ray was the like newest Jedi of that time. So we'll see. I It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. That's for sure. Um, I think it'll be cool. It looks very cool, and I love the first season. I honestly can't believe we're getting the second one as soon as we are, which makes me happy. Um, so yeah, like it's only been a year, which isn't that long, like at all. I feel like that's not a long time to wait for a show.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm sure they
So
were shooting stuff like crazy back when you could shoot
yeah,
things.
oh, they definitely were. So that'll be cool. I hope we see Bill Burr's character come back. I really liked his character.
Yeah, there's
So I
no
hope we
way.
see. You don't think so?
No, I don't think so at all.
I think they're going to run into them. I think they're going to run into the bounty hunters for sure. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that was just a small guess thing, but I have a feeling that the bounty hunters are going to come back maybe. But we'll see. Um but yeah, that's going to be oh, this is the way, man. This is the way.
Is the way.
Oh my god, I love it. I fucking love it. Yeah, I mean that's all. Do you have anything else you want to add for the Mandalorian trailer?
Um, no, I mean, like I said, there's just a lot of stuff to speculate about it. But it's going to
Yeah.
be really cool. There's no doubt about that.
It's yeah, it's gonna be sick. It really is. And I think the last thing we saved for last, and then we have movies. Finally, we have movies. I know we had so much movie news this week, but we had to do it. It's gonna be a little bit of an extra long episode. Um, we got the first, and it's not even a teaser, and it's the first official trailer for the movie Dune.
Yes.
Holy shit. I remember, I want to explain really quickly where I was when this trailer came out. I was at work. I was at my new job. It's literally like my first week of work, not like after training, my first week of work. And I'm there and we're on like a little bit of a break and it dropped. And I was with my friend Sydney at the time. And we were literally like just in the middle of talking and I audibly gasped and she was like, what happened? What? And I was like, the trailer for Doom just dropped. And I said, we're watching this right now. And we just dropped everything and watched it. And literally, like, the next round of people that I had to photograph started coming up. And low key, like, they had to wait a second. And it was where it, oh my God, we're going to talk about it, but that's where I was. And it was, I immediately texted you it. I immediately texted, like, it was great. Oh my God. I can't wait to talk about it. This is like, honestly, one of the more exciting. I'm really, this is the thing I wanted to talk about most. And I think the thing you wanted to talk about most news wise this week. Um, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. But yeah, where were you when you watched this trailer?
When I watched this trailer, I was at home. It came out. and then I had to go to work, and
Mhm.
I was like, I want to be able to really focus on this. So I
Okay.
waited the whole time and I didn't talk to
Holy
anybody.
shit.
And then I went home and I sat alone and I watched it. And it it confirmed that I think this is going to be a really good movie. I
Yep.
mean, we kind of, oh man, talked about it a lot
Oh, I can't wait to read the
beforehand,
book,
but
man.
everybody has to read the book. It's an incredible book. Now,
I
I
can't
think
wait.
that, one of the key quote that they use in the trailer, which is a very popular quote from the books, is,
Mhm.
I must not fear, for fear is the mind killer. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I'm just being kind of
Oh,
a, what do you call it?
oh, what?
Like a snob. I'm just being kind of like a snob because that's obviously a
Oh,
great
okay.
quote,
But you don't
but
like
it
that they
just
put it in the
feels
trailer?
like, huh?
You don't like that they put it in the trailer or how it was delivered?
No, well, it just feels like that's something that's just there for people to like latch onto, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas that idea is, I mean, barely the surface of like these concepts that Dune breaches and talks about and stuff. So
Well,
I just hope
this is
that, I feel like it has to be diluted a little bit because it's a very heavy, heady book. Um,
Mhm.
but I think that it is going to be done in the right way. And,
Mhm.
Villanueva, is that how you say it, Joe?
Villen Vi Denis Villeneuve.
Okay, Villanueva.
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Kang, um, is a fan of Dune, so he's going to take care of it. It looks fucking amazing.
Oh my
Um,
god.
the uh, costumes really good, well designed.
Yeah,
The
I like them.
vehicles, I'm not sure if we got a good look at a Thopper, which is, sort of the most famous vehicle from the movies. We got to look at some of the Atreides ships for sure, which look
Mhm.
pretty good. It's interesting. I think that the so when Paul puts his hand in that box, that's on Caladan, which is the Atreides' home world. Um,
Mhm.
and I do wish that there was a little bit. There's a pretty large juxtaposition between Caladan and Arrakis, which is Dune, the planet.
Mhm.
And part of me wishes that that was a little more prominent in this trailer, or the way that it looks like it's going to be in this movie. Um,
Mhm.
but the tone across the board, it just fits so well, um,
Yeah.
that I don't even think that really matters that much, honestly. It's just interesting because Caladan, the big difference is obviously Caladan is a world with these great vast seas. Arrakis, obviously
Mhm.
a desert planet. Um, so the sort of the what it looks like in the movie is sort of this like a British dampness. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Whereas it always felt to me in the books like a more lush.
Okay. I see. And I will say, not reading the books, I think that's what every director who has to adapt from a book like is inevitably struggling with
Mhm. But like I said, I mean, the
because
just the way that it looks like the whole tone across the board, like that's gonna blend in
Mhm.
so perfectly. I mean, it's gonna be great. Um,
Mhm.
the other thing, I mean, we've talked about this cast so much. but getting to see them, in costume and acting like the characters, particularly with Josh Brolin being Gurney Halleck. And
Yeah.
I have said from the beginning, and I cannot stress enough, what a perfect choice Jason Momoa is to play Duncan Idaho.
Oh, he seemed
And
awesome.
you watch it, and it's just like, oh, there's Duncan. There's Duncan. Zendaya playing Chani is really interesting. First of all, again, the fucking perfect look, and a big thing we talked about this months ago, but the eyes um,
Hmm.
is a big thing for the Freeman, and I think that it's a perfect shade of blue. Um,
Yeah.
it's interesting though. I think that Zendaya is going to bring a certain strength to the character that is always there in the books, but is maybe not explored as much. Um,
Hmm.
God, she's going to be so perfect, dude. So perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that Timothy Chalamet is going to be able to, you know, it's not so much about portraying Paul, but about portraying Paul's journey and evolution. And Timothy
Yeah.
Chalamet, especially with the directing he's going to get or he received, I'm sure it's going to be crazy, man. And I like
I mean,
that.
yeah.
I think that there's going to be a little more added as far as the action goes. There's going to be a little more emphasis on the action. Um,
Hmm.
which is, I think going to be very cool. It's going to add some great sequences. I certainly hope that it doesn't take away from the core of the book, which is, its ideas and that sort of thing. But I don't think that it will. I think it's going to balance it out pretty well, especially for a movie adaptation.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see how this it looks so cool. I guess the main thing I want to say just really quick in response to your concern, well, not concern, with how you imagined Caladan, is am I saying that right?
Caladan. Um,
Caladan
yeah, and I
to
mean,
look.
look, I want to, I don't know how, like, I'm not talking about just how I imagined Caladan. I'm talking about like the way it's written.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I wasn't hearing that distinction. So
Yeah,
I thought you were just talking about how you imagined it, which is valid. It's just that's a thing that a director who adapts any book has like the biggest difficulty
of
with
course.
is trying to make it like feel as everyone who watched it or read it imagined
Yeah.
it. And
And you
that's like
absolutely can't please anybody, especially, with any adaptation. Um,
cannot please everybody for sure.
yeah.
But
But like I
dude,
said,
I
I
got it.
don't think that it's going to be a huge factor in this movie because again, that just you can tell that the way that this movie is going to progress, and it's so weird that you can tell this just from the trailer, but you can tell that this movie is just going to be progressing seamlessly and in every aspect, in tone, in the way that the setting is going to shift. It's going to be perfect.
I'm really excited. I think that I mean obviously I don't really know what's going on and I don't really want to know what's going on, but I saw the trailer comparison side by side of the old Dune movie and it is insane how like close it is. Like
Wow.
he definitely purposely edited they definitely made the trailer to be
Yeah,
exactly like the David Lynch one, which I think is really awesome.
that is
Um
pretty
there's like
cool.
a like it looks it's that I think that's great and um And I also want to say, I know you mentioned you didn't love. Well, you're worried about them maybe not going into as deep of into the ideas and the concepts that are presented in the book. And one thing that worried you was the fact that they threw in the line of um the fear line,
Well, just
correct?
because, look, and again, like I said, this is me being snobby because that's a great line. I know a lot of people really relate to it, but that feels to me like such a like whenever I see people have that particular line like tattooed on them, I'm like,
Hmm.
and again, I know I sound like an asshole here, but I'm like, you're not getting everything that is happening. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like that's like
I
literally
got
the
you.
most surface concept in the book.
Yeah. Okay. I yeah. I the only thing
Yeah,
I want to
I sound like such an asshole, but
no, I
I don't
mean,
know.
hey, you're really passionate about it. I think it's great. I haven't even read the book. I all I'm saying is I just kind of want to maybe put your mind at ease a little bit if I can and say, I mean, we've both seen Blade Runner 2049. That trailer didn't show hardly any of what that movie was for good reason.
Yeah,
Denis Villeneuve doesn't sell out. If Blade Runner 2049 proved
that's a very
anything,
good point actually.
Denis Villeneuve does not give a shit about what the audience like. He no, he does care what they think, and maybe he doesn't. But he what he doesn't care about is
Like
he does not care.
he's not going to dumb anything down for their benefit because
No,
he
no
respects the audience,
way.
which is a good thing. I
Yes,
mean, that's the most
because
important thing.
and it sucks because it led to Blade Runner 2049 not doing very well at the box office because it wasn't marketed as a commercial film.
Mhm.
But I don't give a shit about that because I know after watching Blade Runner 2049 and after that being one of my favorite movies, like just my one of my favorite movies, I know and I have faith that he is not gonna disrespect the audience of this film whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't think so. There might be some things, I mean, there are gonna be things cut out because they have to be for time's sake. That's just how making movies goes, but there's no way that he's gonna like I don't think he's gonna dumb down shit. I don't see him doing that. I just don't personally. But it looks awesome. The effects are so fucking good. It and watching it in comparison to the 80 like or the David Lynch one, it's just awesome. It looks so sick. The and I just gotta say the end of the trailer. That's if the end of the trailer was the only thing in the trailer, I'm serious. Like if the whole trailer was just the last part, that's all I would have needed to see. That is that's the best. Like that is like one of the coolest visuals and one of the coolest things I've ever seen in film. Like already I can tell that's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a film. It looks amazing.
Yeah. I
I
like just some other things that I liked real quick. Well, just two, and one's not big, but the
mm,
you'll see this when you read the book, but the so when Josh Brolin and Timothy Chalamet, Paul and Gurney are kind of
mhm.
sparring. They show that sort of briefly.
Yeah, it looks
You can
sick.
do you see there was like shields that they had on.
Yeah, yeah.
And for the type of shields that are in the Dune universe, that's a very interesting but really good depiction of them.
So cool.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
And just the last thing I want to say real quick is another casting thing. Javier Bardem as Stilgar. I mean, fucking Jesus Christ, dude. I that
Oh.
maybe my favorite character
Mhm.
And to have an
Is
actor
he
of that
the
caliber and just a guy like he is going to be able to do so great with that character. I don't
hmm.
even know, dude.
Is he
Holy shit.
the okay, very quickly, is he like the antagonist of
No,
the okay, there is because there is a character
they
that
don't
they briefly
show.
showed in
Yeah,
the
they don't really
trailer.
show. Um,
What's his name?
they
The
don't really
actor's
show the
name?
Baron Harkonnen in this. That you don't really see his face, and that's the one that's going to be played by what's his name? The um
Because I thought you got a few. They showed a few shots of him like
that's
rising in the mud.
I don't remember that,
The
so I don't know.
guy, the guy rising in the mud,
Okay, I
or
just don't
whatever.
I don't know because they show a lot of Dave Batista's character,
It
and
wasn't
that
him.
okay,
It wasn't him. It was. I think it was like supposed to be like the the main. I don't know his name, but there was two shots of him in the trailer, and they were brief. But I know like it. He's a big guy. Like he looks big in this thing. Like I don't know. I don't know. I can't really describe it, and I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want you to like spoil any. I don't want to know too much, but I'm pretty sure he was. I thought he's the antagonist, but I could be wrong in that. Um, but yeah, it looks cool.
absolutely.
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
excited. Excellent first trailer. Um,
Yes.
let's see what
I honestly
happens.
don't need much more. I really don't need much more. I mean, this movie's not coming out for a year though. So,
Yeah,
oh, not for a year. What am I talking about? It's coming out in December.
right.
I'm crazy. It's coming out in December. It's not coming out for months. We'll see what the situation is when it comes out. I mean, I hope I'll be able to see it. We'll see. We'll see. But anyhow, that is finally the end of movie news. We did it, folks. We made it. Thank you for bearing with us. We had a lot there, but it had to be done. Uh, it's a roller coaster of movie news too. But now we got some movies to talk about, two to be exact, and very excited to get into these. New release and a throwback, but we are starting things a little bit differently with the throwback being first. But there's a very special reason for that, which you'll find out in a moment. Andrew, why don't you take it away?
Yes, I'm just getting my notes organized. So, uh, this first movie used to actually be my favorite movie of all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since then that has changed. But when I was in sixth grade, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. This is my favorite movie. I enjoy this more than any movie ever. And rewatching it, I can completely understand why. This is a most excellent movie, and that's fitting because it is
Mhm.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Dudes, you guys are gonna go back in time.
Yeah! You are going to have the most excellent adventure through history.
Who are you guys?
We're you, dude! No way. No way. Yes way, Ted!
Look, we know how you feel. We didn't believe it either when we were you, and we us said what we us are saying right now.
Okay, wait. If you guys are really us, what number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Hell yeah, it is.
Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter. It's sorry. Came out in 1989. Just in case you have no idea who Bill and Ted are, I mean, first and foremost, they're wild stallions. Um, but
Mhm.
so Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is about these two slacker headbanger guys from San Dimas, California, who don't care about much except trying to get their band going, even though they don't know how to play uh, instruments really.
No, they don't.
And they do terribly in school, which is a problem when their big history report comes up. And if they don't pass, then they will fail, obviously. But if they don't
Yeah.
pass this, then they're gonna fail the grade that year. And Ted, Keanu Reeves' character, is going to be shipped off to military school, separating them and breaking up the band. The
Mhm.
reason that that can't happen is because it turns out that way in the future, the band Wild Stallion, a song that Bill and Ted come up with, is so good that it unites the entire world.
Hell yeah, it does.
So, to prevent the two from getting set up, people in the future send back George Carlin's character, Rufus, with a time machine so that Bill and Ted can go throughout history and be able to do well on their report, thus saving the band, thus saving the world.
Hell yeah. That was a good fucking intro, dude.
Well, I'm really good at what I do, so.
Hell yeah, you are. Yeah. Oh man, this movie, you explained it perfectly. I mean, it's a classic.
It is a
I don't know
classic.
how else to say it. It is a classic. Um, Rewatching it, it is. I There's so much charm in this movie. Um, I I think this movie is pretty. It's obviously pretty silly, but I think what keeps it from bordering. I think it is bordering obnoxious, but I think what keeps it from crossing into obnoxious and annoying is the charm that these characters that we're watching,
That's
like,
absolutely right.
yes, because this movie could easily be like, if it was different, dude, if this movie had different actors and different writing, well, obviously that's with any movie. I'm just saying this movie could have easily been super annoying and obnoxious, but I think it rides the line of that because not only of the script of this movie being actually excellent, but um Keanu Reeves and oh my god, why am
Alex
I
Winter.
what's Alex Winter destroy these characters. They're so good. Like, and this is, I think, like, just it's just crazy. Like, especially since like we see Keanu Reeves now and he's like huge action star, but watching him in this again, it's like he is just so they're both just so like Bill and Ted. That's all I can say. It is so charming to watch them on screen, and you can just tell that their characters are nothing but good, and that is what keeps. I think that's what keeps you invested in them, and what makes them not annoying, well, obnoxious, and like, annoying in a bad way. I mean,
Mhm.
I think that's what makes it work, because I was nervous watching it again that being older I was going to maybe not enjoy their characters as much because maybe they're like maybe it was more of me just being young. But and I think like there could be some I think you could make that argument, but I did not like dislike it at all.
Mhm.
If anything, I appreciate the writing and the characters even more. That I wasn't annoyed or like thought it was like, oh, this is a kids movie, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, I think you absolutely nailed the core of this movie is that these characters are so genuine, and
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter in their portrayals are so genuine. And I mean, these are incredible performances. And I
Yep.
know that Keanu Reeves was worried that this was gonna derail his career and stuff and whatever, but so phenomenal in this movie to the point. I mean, it just comes off so naturally, and there are points where I'm just curious, like, was that improvised? Because these things just seem so genuine and so natural. Uh,
Yeah.
and gosh, what a this movie is just fun. This movie is just an
Oh,
absolute
it's so fun.
blast.
It
Uh,
is. It's really fun.
I mean,
It gives
gosh,
me
all the
it's like
historical figures, the Socrates joke.
yeah,
Um,
oh, the Socrates joke is fantastic.
I mean,
There was another
just
joke that I
everything.
wanted
It's
to mention.
incredible. And
Oh my
again,
god, what
and the root of it all is the never wavering Bill and Ted.
yeah. I there's so many like good like
And the
running
time
jokes in this.
travel I feel like is good, and they do a really
Oh,
good
it
job
is.
of explaining that like very quickly and very simply to the audience.
Yeah. It's really George Carlin does a great job, I think,
Oh yeah, he's
as
spectacular.
that character.
Rufus.
Um Rufus, yes. Um yeah, it's really good. I'm trying to think of the one I can't think of the joke that I really wanted to mention. It had to do with um God, it had to do with when uh the teacher asks him a question in the beginning, and it
Mhm.
made me lose it. It wasn't. He was like, the only thing you know about Caesar is that it's a salad, like it's a salad dressing or something. Like he goes,
That
well,
he's the
yeah, or
salad
says,
dude.
yeah, that he's the salad guy. I don't know. I thought that was really funny. There's like just a lot of I don't know. It's a really I don't know how to explain it. It's just a really charming movie.
Super
It's I
charming.
think
Yeah.
it's I
Very
think it's
80s in its way also, and
yes. I think it's an anomaly of the 80s. That is like it is a movie that like it's one of those movies that you think is going to be like, it should fail, it should be terrible,
mhm,
but it's not. Like it's great.
yeah. And
Um
there's just no cynicism in it. Bill and Ted go up
yeah.
against, you know, different obstacles, and Ted's dad being one
Mhm.
of them, the guy who wants to send him away. Uh,
Yeah.
but the aura the aura that from Bill and Ted that we the audience are kind of protected by, we're so on their side that the
Yep.
the cynicism of that character or anything that's antagonizing Bill and Ted doesn't even hit us.
I completely agree. I'm going to get more into it in the next movie, but
Mhm.
this one I will say it's dude, like what it comes down to is you're watching this movie with these characters, and it's really just about being excellent. And that is it's perfect. It is just I don't know. This movie I didn't realize until I watched it again and the next one, but we'll get into that later. I think it is one of the it's one of the most perfect movies to watch if you just need a cheer up. I completely agree with I think that's like one of the best instances to watch this movie is if you just need a good feel good like movie. Like and like I really enjoyed it. I'm very glad we got to revisit it. It's awesome. um I like the mall scene is one of the funniest scenes. Like the mall sequence, I should say, is like just such a good sequence. Like I just think it's really I just thought it was I don't know. I think it's a really it has just a lot of good moments. I don't know. And like I like that there's like a low key like an educational side to it. Like it's not like a typical like well it's not like there's an educational side to it in the fact where you're like you're like learning like as if you're watching this as a kid, you're like kind of learning like tidbits of information about these historical figures
Yeah.
through these like silly events and like these characters. And like these characters are dumb, but doesn't there's that scene where Alex Winter's character Bill like he goes to find Socrates, and he picks up the dust or the sand, and
Yeah.
he like lets it fall from his hand, and then he blows it away, and he goes, "Wind." It's like, oh my god, he like blows his mind. It's great. I really liked it. I really like this
Yeah.
movie.
And I will
It's
say,
really fun.
I think that it kind of benefits from the simplicity of the special effects, and there's
Yeah.
not too many of them, but the ones that there are pretty simple. It looks very weird when they're in the circuits of time.
Mm.
And
I
there's so
think it
much
kind of
CG
ages
around them.
decently though.
Yeah, I agree because it's so minimalist, and
Yes.
the electricity that surrounds the telephone booth, and even the booth going,
Hmm.
shooting up or going into the ground or whatever.
Yeah,
That all holds up very well, and again because it's so minimal.
for sure. This is a very curious question that I have. I feel like you would know it. Um, is the answer to it? Did this movie come out before or after Back to the Future? I'm
After
assuming
the first Back
after.
to the Future came out in '85.
Okay, I was assuming after, but I didn't know for sure. Um, yeah, that's crazy. I think you can definitely see some of the influence in this from
Mm,
that film.
yeah,
In not, I don't think it like, I don't think it steals anything. It's, I just think there's some influence there, mainly
yeah,
with the time travel effects. I think the effects are kind of influenced a little by
yeah. They definitely have a similar look.
yeah,
There's a
which
similar
I think is
idea to
cool.
the effects for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think if anything, it's just like it adds to the feeling of the film and what time it came from. Um, it's I. What's weird is there's not much to talk about in my opinion after watching it again. I think the movie, with this movie, it's shot fine. I think the sound is actually pretty good for when it came out. Um, but I don't think how it was shot is anything spectacular. Um, I think it's good. But I don't think it's like, groundbreaking or anything for
Sure.
comedy movies or anything. But I think it's serviceable for the film. And I think the sound is actually pretty good. I was a big fan of the sound. I was kind of surprised how well the effects and like some of the I don't know, some of the mixing was really well done. I just that's
Yeah.
all I can say. I don't know if like why I know that. I can just by listening to it, like I can tell it's very well mixed movie with all the effects and the lines and everything. And yeah, it was really cool. It definitely adds to the effects for sure too. Um, yeah, and I know this is like strange to say. I want to. Is there anything else you have to you have for this movie? I I'm kind of like
No, I think
I'm sure.
we've covered most of it.
Yeah,
It's just
I
excellent. I
don't.
really like
Mhm.
just the w- this the acts of this movie are split up really well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was you reminded me of what I wanted to say. The structure of this movie is great. It is a
Yes, really
great
good.
structure. Yes, it is. You know what I also love? It is well, no, I guess this is more of a comment on the next movie we're talking about, so never mind. But I like it is an hour and 30 minutes and
Yeah.
it uses its time perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And yeah, I really liked this movie. I don't want to. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't want to miss that. I I'm it's crazy, but like this might be one of the shortest movie segments we've done. But I think this is all like it's not a bad thing. But this is
No,
I think
exactly.
all there is to say about it. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And if anything, by hearing us talk about it, it is, and how long we're talking about it, it is a simple movie, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just there's not much to talk about other than the feeling it gives you when watching it, which is the most important part of this movie, I think. Which is huge. And that's all I gotta say about it. If you're ready to rate this sucker, I am too.
Yeah, let's do it, Joe. How many juice boxes?
I am gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give this movie 9.5. I'm gonna give this movie 9.5 juice boxes. I think that's the score I have to.
Okay.
Give.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I'm between 9 and 9.5. Like I can't. I'm still stuck. I don't even know if 9.5. It's either a.
I think that.
Yeah.
I think taking everything into consideration, I'm gonna have to give this one. Boy. A 9.5 as well. A big thing for me with 10s is, of course, the longevity of the movie, and this has proven itself to be that. But I think that there are it's just missing something compelling. Just the smallest, if it could just be moved a little bit further there, then it would be.
I agree.
Especially for a small movie. And like you said, they do so much with a simple concept. It's excellent. It's excellent.
It really is. It really is.
It's an excellent adventure. And I hate myself.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. It is an excellent adventure. And I'm excited to talk about this next one as well, which, if you haven't guessed it, we're not talking about the second one. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I've ever seen the second one. If I have, I do not remember much of it.
I don't know if you will like the second one.
Before watching this movie, I did watch a recap. Like before watching this movie, because I didn't remember the second one and I wasn't gonna have time to watch the second one. I watched like a recap of like the first two. And it told me like what happens in the second one. And I was like, okay, I remember bits and pieces of this, I think. So but anyway, that being said, we're talking about the third one, the third Bill and Ted.
Yep, the new one.
Bill and Ted, the new one that just came out, Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Bill, we've spent our whole life trying to unite the world. And I'm tired, dude.
Ted, we have a destiny to fulfill.
Whoa!
Greetings, my excellent friends. We have a problem.
Step forward. A song created by Preston Logan, performed tonight, will save reality as we know it.
Dude, we better write that song now. Or why can't we just go to the future when we have written it?
And take it from ourselves.
Except, won't that be stealing?
Cheers!
that stealing if we're stealing it from ourselves, dude?
It is on demand, I think everywhere. I got it on YouTube, but I think it's everywhere for the same price. One thing I do want to say, you can watch the first Bill and Ted for free on YouTube with ads, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
That's where I watched it. And
Me
I think
too.
that's great. I think the second one is also on YouTube,
I'm pretty sure.
but I don't know if it's free, but it might
I think
be.
it is. I think it's the same deal.
Because I think it's interesting. That's a side conversation, but I think it's interesting. YouTube does have some of these older free movies, which I think is kind of cool, with ads. But anyhow, so yeah, Bill and Ted Face the Music. This is the third movie in the trilogy now. I don't think anyone ever thought this movie was going to be made. I don't think anyone ever expected this movie to come out and be made. And I think this movie worried a lot of people when it was first announced, because I think it's a beloved property, and it could go wrong. So this movie was announced a while ago too, but finally, we talked about the trailers, and it's finally here. It was supposed to get a theater release date. It got pushed back, and then they just decided to release it on demand. And yeah, I'll just get into it. So this movie stars same actors, Alex White and Keanu Reeves. Alex Winter, Jesus Christ. Stars Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as Bill and Ted. It stars, I think, all of the original cast from Bill and Ted. So the princesses are still played by the same actresses.
I don't think that's right.
What?
Actually, that's definitely not right.
No?
Yeah.
They look pretty similar. Hold on. What? Seriously?
Yeah, you can double check. I'm like 1,000% sure.
They looked like similar. That's why I thought they were the same cast.
That's why they cast them, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay, well, hold on. I just really quickly, I'm very curious now. I gotta check this before I finish summarizing.
But
this.
Missy is the same actress. Ted's dad is the same actor. Death is played by the same actor.
Yes, Bill and Ted. Okay. Here we go. Boop. And okay, was she in the original?
Just picturing Joe moving around all the Iron Man shit. If she was in this movie, then that actress must be this person.
Oh, I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, look, there's no way you're right. That doesn't mean you're wrong, but there's no way that you're correct.
I am not correct. I guess she was in Heroes, so that's cool. Oh, damn. Oh, well. Okay, well, might be. That'll happen. Okay, so they are not the same. I thought they were. They did a good job casting, though, because I thought they were. They were similar. I thought they looked similar enough. But we start off with Bill and Ted, and basically they are sent into the future to be told that, I should preface first, this is years later. I should say this. This is more important to say first. This takes place years later after Bill and Ted 1 and 2. They have kids now. They are
their kids are basically grown up. They're like teenagers.
Yes, they are. They're still married to the princesses. Ted's dad got divorced from Missy, and Missy is getting married to I don't know the
Ted's brother.
Ted's brother, yes. It's just so fucking weird. which we'll probably
So
talk about.
the thing
Um,
is, the band, they still haven't written the song to save the world. They're still
no,
struggling. So
yes,
they get the
but
idea. Okay, go ahead.
well, hold on. They get sent into the future that they have to write a song, the song, not only to save the world, but to save the universe,
Right.
which they
And the
didn't know.
fabric of reality.
Yes, and they only have like the afternoon to do it.
77 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that.
And basically they have to go through time to try, and they're gonna go through time and try and steal the song from their future selves so they have enough time to write it, or to be able to play it. And through that there's some shenanigans that unfold with their daughters as well, where they're also going on their adventure. And I don't want to give away too much because the trailer didn't give away much more than that. Um, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. There are other things that happen, but I don't want to. I don't want to. That's all the information I had going into it. So I don't want to give anyone else information other than that. But I think that is about it with that. And yeah, what did you think of this movie, Andrew?
The opening with the wedding, and Missy is
Mhm.
now moving on again because in the first movie, Missy is married to Bill's dad. In the second movie,
Yes.
Missy is married to Ted's dad. And now that they're doing it again, and Missy is marrying her own former stepson, I was like, okay, I'm on board immediately. Like that's hilarious, and it pays homage to the originals
Yes.
in a very funny way. So I
So
was like,
weird.
okay, this is gonna be a fun, silly movie. I'm all in. Um,
Yeah.
the only it, well, I'll say this: it felt a little weird seeing them back in those Bill and Ted roles. And while they
Oh.
obviously have a really good understanding of those characters and played them very well, it didn't feel like they jumped seamlessly back into them.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And then the only issue that I had with this movie, and we won't get into this, but the only big issue that I have is that I wish that it wasn't quite so predictable at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Like I
I
like
understand what
the
you're saying.
moment. I don't want to spoil it, but the the moment that they say something. Nah, I better
I know
not.
exact No, I know exactly what you're
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Like
I know exactly what
like
you're talking
immediately,
about.
because that's the only way that they say that particular thing throughout the whole movie. But even
Mhm.
from the first time that the one person says it, I'm like, oh, so that's what's going to happen, which is fine. It was
Yeah.
still so fun. It was so great to see the you know Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter get to play all these different versions of Bill and Ted. And what's
Yeah.
so interesting is that we talked so much just a second ago about how in the first one there's no cynicism and the purity of these characters and just how optimistic they are and spectacular. Um, and there's a huge juxtaposition in that with the future selves that they're running into, not the ones that we are following with,
Yeah.
but when they go the ones that they're trying to steal the songs from and that sort of thing.
Yep.
So that adds a whole new element. I also like the way the movie's an hour and 31 minutes, and
Hmm.
it all kind of happens in real time, which again feels very similar to the concept in the first one, because a big part of the first one is that the clock is still ticking in San Dimas
Mhm.
as they're trying to get everything ready for their history report.
Yeah.
And so in this movie, and I knew they were going to do it, so I kept track. Once they begin their journey, it's like, okay, we've got 77 minutes to, you know, play the song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
77 minutes later, in the runtime, the song's playing.
Really? That's
Mhm.
cool. That's sick.
Yep.
That is a great detail. That's awesome.
And the thing
That's
about
pretty
this,
sick.
you know what? I forgot to touch on this. So this movie, they've been talking about it for like 10 years, but there was
Mhm.
never a script that they liked. And so that's one of the reasons that I was a little less worried than if I would be, because I know both Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter had said for a long, long time that, there have been scripts brought to them and they just didn't like them, but if it was the right one, they would do it. And
Mhm.
so knowing that they wouldn't do it unless it was the right story made it feel a lot better.
That's true. That's true. I do want to say I see where you're coming from a little bit, but I kind of disagree with you on the fact that I think Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, like, I see what you're saying a little bit, but to me it felt, I was like, oh yeah, Bill and Ted. Like, I don't know. To me it felt like it's like, I guess it's a little strange because we know Keanu Reeves is such an action guy now, and like he doesn't have a beard now, which is so strange.
Yeah,
But
he looks weird
like,
without it, I'll be honest. But
yeah,
let me kind of
they
flush that
played the
out a little
characters
bit.
fantastic.
Right. But so here's what it felt like to me. It it didn't feel like in the it didn't feel so much in the first ones the way that, like, it's Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves playing Bill and Ted.
Hmm.
It
It was
felt
just Bill and Ted.
no, it felt like in this movie they were playing themselves as those characters. Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
they weren't playing Bill and Ted. They were playing the idea of Bill and Ted, of the idea of what Bill and Ted have become and the way that they are perceived looking back on them.
Okay. I I see what you're saying.
Okay.
It didn't necessarily bother me when watching the movie, I guess. Then I do see what you're saying. Like, I that makes sense. I guess it just didn't. I was just like so on board with seeing them again on screen as these characters that I think it didn't, like, as you say that, like, I understand, like, I get it, and I'm like recalling like moments where that was like definitely um seen, but I also, it didn't, like, I don't think it like bothered me enough to like I don't know. I kind of just didn't like, I don't know how, I guess it just didn't bother me that much. That's all I can say. It didn't. To me it felt pretty seamless, but that's also because I think I wanted, like, I just like love the character, and I'm not saying you don't love the characters. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, but I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Um, but what was I gonna say about But I also like Death makes us a Death comes back in this movie. I think Death's great. Um, I think all the characters are great. I think the obviously the big part, the newest part in the movie, the thing that is new in the movie, I should say, is the daughters. Um, and you know, I actually thought they worked really well in this movie. I was worried that they might detract from Bill and Ted, but I actually really enjoyed all of the scenes that they had together. And I also thought they fit pretty well in the movie. And I could totally see them as Bill and Ted's daughter. Like
Mhm.
it made complete sense to me. And I think those actresses were fantastic. Um, I really enjoyed watching them on screen. I thought they had a great understanding of their characters.
Yeah, of course. And again, excellent addition, but
Yes.
almost in the same sense of what I spoke about with Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter's performances. Um, and it's not like it's not good, but it just feels like again they're playing the just because the sort of the the like the dude that aspect of these characters is uh so meaty and so easy to latch
Mhm.
onto, but it's also just kind of the surface of these characters. Like there's a lot more to Bill and Ted, and it felt like there was
Yeah.
just such a heavy influence on that aspect of these characters with them now and the daughters that was just a little too um just a little too shallow, just a little too on the surface.
Okay, that's fair. But I will say this. This is also these characters years and years later. And as something that happens in the movie that I can't spoil because I didn't know that was going to be a plot point going in, and I think that is an important plot point. There's something that happens early on in the movie that shows you that these, like, I guess how these characters have grown and or how they're not particularly growing, possibly. And I think that there is merit to saying that that might have maybe not with the daughters. And I still understand what you're saying. And I don't think this takes away from what you're saying. I still agree with you that the characters, I can see what you're saying with the characters playing like a version of themselves or the actors playing a version of the characters. But I I will say that I think possibly the shallow point that you're making um is partly intentional, maybe for the
Mm,
the
mm,
instance of the thing that happens and the
sure.
plot point.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous though. I mean, I feel like that's
But I don't think I never
I'm not saying that's not what's happening. I'm saying the fact that that is what's happening is ridiculous because I mean, then you're letting the plot service or the characters are just there to service that and not so much grow themselves. Um,
but
there was
yeah,
more to that point that I was going to make, but I've lost it.
see, and I understand what you're saying. I just shallow is not the word that comes to mind, I guess,
No,
when I'm
and I
thinking
it's
of
only used for lack of a better term.
mhm. Okay. Because I definitely like think that as it is hard to see these actors play these characters now, and especially they're different actors now, they're different people now. So watching them play these characters now, I definitely see the idea of them just playing the idea of the characters and not the characters themselves, and I understand that. But I definitely think they give it their all, and I definitely see I see their
Mhm.
characters still in their acting,
Yeah,
and
without a
that
doubt. I'm just
definitely
saying there's so much focus on like this caricature of what Bill and Ted have become, and that there's a
Mhm.
lot more of that in the movie that overshadows the deeper aspects of those characters.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. I, that makes a lot more sense. I definitely and I agree that and I agree with you, but I also say I do think that it is in there to service the plot, and I agree with you that that's not a great thing that they did, but I kind of think that that's why they did that. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
If that makes sense. I
I
agree
guess
with you
so,
in that.
but I think that that's lazy then, if that's true.
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying
yeah.
you're not, Joe.
Oh, got you. No, I definitely think that's lazy. I kind of just like processing this now, and I didn't even think of that until now. But you talking about it, like, kind of, yeah, that makes sense. So that might be the case. It might not be the case though either. But I think that might be the case. But anyhow, yes. So I really liked the daughter's plot line a lot.
Yeah, I liked
I
what
thought
they were doing too. That was really cool.
yeah,
It was fun to see.
I thought yes, it was. I thought I wasn't gonna enjoy their plot line going into the movie. I was worried that they were gonna like detract from the actual story, but honestly, they had like they had some really good moments. They had some really good moments. Sometimes I liked their parts more than Bill and Ted's in some instances. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think that's because Bill and Ted's the way Bill and Ted's story goes is so predictable, like you said. And I'm not saying the daughter's story isn't predictable, but I think the daughters, you don't know necessarily where they're going or who they're seeing.
Right. And I'm not saying that the storylines are predictable. I'm saying like the climax of the movie, you know exactly what's going to happen well before that.
Yeah. I guess I'm saying then I felt that Bill and Ted's storyline was a little bit predictable in that way,
Mhm.
where you obviously, and it doesn't mean it was bad storyline. It's just you always knew where they were going, and that's fine. Like it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I think part of like it kind of I just enjoyed some aspects of what the daughters were doing more, I guess. I thought it was more
Mhm.
fun than what Bill and Ted were necessarily doing. Because they kind of did the same thing like 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row. And it was like a little different. And I understand why it's in there. And I don't hate that it's in there. It's just some of it felt kind of like almost filler, um, in my opinion. But that's yeah, I don't know. That's how I felt about that. But um I I I guess the only other thing I really want to say is I loved how this movie was shot. This movie was shot, I think, great. I liked that they took advantage of the time that they're making this movie now. And you can see
Yeah.
that in the movie, in the production of the movie. I think this movie was shot super well. And I think the production value on this movie is just great. And I think that's something I'm really glad they didn't let fall short, because I feel like that could have been something that was like not uh done well, but it was done super well. I love how this movie was shot. It's definitely the best looking Bill and Ted, and I understand like time
Yeah.
matters in that instance. I'm not saying that against the other movies, but I'm glad it's the best looking Bill and Ted, because it should be the best looking Bill and Ted. It's
Right.
made now. It should look fucking awesome. And it looks fucking awesome. It looks great. I really love the look of this movie. It's so stylized, and that's what they needed. And I think that's awesome. The costumes I thought were great. I don't know. I really liked the costumes actually. I thought the costumes were pretty well done, especially with the prison one. The prison costumes were awesome. Those were great. Death is fantastic. As I said before, Death plays a great role in this. There's a new character in this, and I can't spoil the character because he's not in the trailer at all. There's a new character in this movie. I want to know your thoughts on him.
Incredible.
You really liked him?
Yeah, absolutely.
I liked him, but he like
Ooh.
it
Do you
took
know
me a
who played
second
him?
to like
Do you know
him.
who played him?
Yes, the
Okay,
guy from
okay.
Barry.
Yeah.
The guy from Barry played him,
Anthony
which
Carrigan.
I didn't know until after. But he like he had a grow on me. He kind of annoyed me for a bit, and I know he's
Wow.
supposed to, but I was like, why is he still in the movie? But like I like started like I was like, no, I like him.
Yeah, he was
He's just
spectacular. And he does like I don't know. He grows a
he's a
lot in the
sad
movie.
boy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a sad boy. He but yeah, he surprisingly had a lot more going for him than I thought. So that was cool. And he was a nice addition. Um there was another point I wanted to make. This is the last point I wanted to make. Um as predictable as the climax is to this movie. Oh, before I even say this, the ending I think was too abrupt. That's what I'll say about that. I think like I didn't like the specific I think it could have been an abrupt ending, but the specific like line they say and like how it ends, I didn't like. If you know what I'm talking about. Like I was fine with it ending there. I just think the way it ended wasn't I don't know how to explain it. There's a line that is said and I did not care for it at
Mhm.
all. And I'm literally like acting like you can see me right now. Like I'm like moving my arms like to you and I'm acting like you're watching me right now, but you can't and I keep forgetting. But um you can imagine my hand movements. But
Yeah.
but I didn't care for that part of the ending. But what I will say is the climax of this movie and the ending of this movie and everything that leads up to it and the message of this movie, I thought was spectacular. I know it's predictable and I understand that, but and I knew where it was going the whole time, but I did not expect, and maybe it's just the kind of the time we're in right now, but I did not expect the the message and kind of the end of this movie to kind of hit me as hard as it did. Like I was like surprisingly like tearing up and I was like, why am I tearing up right now in this movie? And it's just such a feel good message. And I know it's cheesy as fuck. And I know it's predictable as hell, but it's still, the execution of it still got me at the end.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
the ending
think,
is still a lot of fun.
yes, it's so much fun. And it's like, it is the embodiment of what the characters and what the the series means as a whole. And I love that. Like it's just oh, just be excellent, man. Like it's great. It's great, and they nailed it on. They hit the nail on the head with it, and that is my favorite part of the movie is how well they portrayed that message. And I know it's a cheesy ass message, but I loved it because right now, like in and we talked about this with the first movie, but right now in a day where like there's a lot of negativity in the world, I think this is a movie that is very much needed right now. And I didn't know how much it was needed until I watched it. And then I watched it and I was like like it is such like just a glowing piece of positivity and optimism that and it's great because it almost is like kind of meta because they're fighting the pessimism and like you said they're fighting the pessimism with their own future selves the whole time.
Right.
And I really thought it was very well done. As predictable as it was, I thought it was very well done. And the end when everything came together, it made me like tear up. I was like, Jesus, this is so feel good. Like this is so heartwarming that I'm actually like, damn man, like this is like so sweet. Like this is awesome. Like to see this on screen is so awesome. Like I don't know. I think it's a message that more people kind of need to hear right now.
Mhm.
And for the time it came out, I think it couldn't have come out at a more perfect time. And that's all I have to say about that. And I know it's cheesy and I know it's heartwarming. I know it's super cheesy of me to say all of what I just said,
I don't think
especially
so.
if you saw the movie. But I think it's true. I think it's true. As cheesy as it is, I think it's true. Is there anything else you want to say about
Nope.
the
Said
movie?
it all.
Damn. Okay, man. Well, it is time to rate this sucker. Go ahead, Andrew. What are you gonna give this one?
I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna give it. Oh man, I think I'm going to give it. I'll give it an 8.
Wow.
Could give it an 8.5, but I'm going to give it an 8. I think that Bill and Ted Face the Music is 8 juice boxes out of 10 for all the reasons that I said before.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
It's still really good. Like, especially if you like the Bill and Ted movies, you have to watch this one.
You definitely do. Especially if you like the movies. Like, I also think you probably should watch the first one at least, but I think you can probably watch this without watching the other ones too. If you really just.
I don't know. I'd watch it.
I think. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 juice box. I'm gonna give it 8.5 juice boxes out of 10. I think this movie is, I completely agree with your reasoning for the score, Andrew. I just think it deserves the. I just personally, for me, it's 8.5. I really, I don't know. It hit me at the end, and I wasn't expecting it. And I think if I saw this movie at a different time, the score would be different. I think it'd be lower. I think this movie would be lower if I saw it at a different time in my life. But I think that's a very interesting thing. Like, I think I think it's very interesting. But this movie really hit me. I really liked it. I connected to it more than I thought I would, and I appreciated it. It made me smile. And it was a fun fucking time. That's all I could ask for this one. And I think it added to their story and the universe and how much the characters grow by the end. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. I think it maybe could have been fleshed out a bit more, but for the most part, I think it did a good job of what it set out to do. So yeah. Good. I'm really glad we got to watch it. I'm really glad we did this one. It was a good fucking time. So yeah, that's the movies this week. I know. Thank you for bearing with us. It's been an extra long episode of Film Juice. But this is what happens when we take a vacation. We always get an extra long episode coming up, but that's okay. We love it. With that being said, I think we're ready to start breaking it down. So you can follow us on Instagram at film_juice. Follow us on Twitter at Film Juice Pod. Yes, at Film Juice Pod on Twitter. You can watch the videos of the podcast, the video versions of the podcast on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Film Juice Podcast. You can listen to it anywhere you're listening to it right now if you're listening to it. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. It goes basically everywhere where you listen to podcasts. And we're like we said in the beginning, we hope to get a watch party out soon. We hope to get more information about that soon, especially now that we won't have as many technical problems. I think that might be a little easier to pull off, but we definitely need it's more of a time thing right now. So we'll see how that goes, but we're hoping end of September, beginning of October. That is what we're shooting for. And we will announce that on our socials, as well as in a future episode when we got an exact date and what we're going to be doing and how you can participate in that. And yeah, I think that's all there is to it. Thanks for listening, everyone. Andrew, it's been great fucking doing this, like coming back.
Yeah,
Love this
that was a good
It's been
episode.
super fucking fun. Hell yeah. As always, same time, same place. I'm Joe Dorado.
I'm Andrew Canada, and we'll see you next time at the movies. It was very like at the
What?
beginning of a VHS tape. Like coming soon
like
to
coming soon
on
to- yeah.
digital and VHS.